I'm here to introduce you to our newest games for this year. So I'm going to start with our My Very First Game segment. This is Forest Friends. This is great peekaboo memory game for your little ones to start them up. It's a good discovery game where you can really start to teach them about different elements in terms of the little animals, and basically they start to discover where the animals live, what type of animals are in there, and it's a great memory game to get them engaged and discovered into this sort of play area. So, and then these, of course, are our evergreen top sellers. You can never forget about these. So we have our very famous My Very First Games First Orchard. We have Rhino Hero, which is super popular. And then Animal Upon Animal, which is an evergreen. And I'm going to show you a continuation of something with this that you really want to start to discover for this year. So Monster Munch is a fun peekaboo game. And basically, you take the monsters through the path, and you don't want them to eat any of the food that's not good for them. So you roll the die, and I wanted to press my luck, see how far I can get without getting green food. So let's see. Oh, so I didn't go too far, so I'm going to start at the beginning. But then the next person will go, and they have to remember what was there. So I feel safe enough to go this far. Let's see if I can get through without hitting the purple food. So I made it. So I start here, and then the next person will go through, and the goal is to get to the end, remember as much as you can, so you aren't getting stuck going back to the beginning.
Okay.
So remember I told you about Animal Upon Animal? This one is actually one of my favorites right now, another stacking game. And basically, you start on the raft, you take one of the items of the island, and stack it here. So my goal is to get that raft to this island without basically falling over. So great dexterity game. Now what happens is the next person will pick an item from that island, turn it over. Luckily, I'm already on this island, so I don't have to move. But you want to stack them up and try to get through the different islands without falling out over. And as you go, you're going to collect the seashells, and whoever has the most at the end, by the time the islands are done, basically wins the game. It's a great dexterity game, a lot of fun for people. And then this one is Moonlight Castle. So this is a fun game where it's great for 5+. Basically, you are going to be collecting pebbles, and as you collect the pebbles, you can trade them in for these cards. So let's say I have enough to purchase this card. This tells me what I can do next. I keep this to collect these stones at the end, and this tells me that I can push the bridge one time. So I'll show you this little movement. So push it one time, and then the next person will go, and you start to collect these little pebbles. So let's say I want to go here, which is a free space. I collect 3 pebbles, hide them from everyone. And then as we go through the game, basically you can trade in your pebbles for the different cards. So now this person would push the bridge 3 times. So that 1, 2, 3. And then you have these, which basically tells you what to do next. And as you go through the game, you're basically collecting as many pebbles as you want. Yeah, so it's a fun game for kids where you can really, have a lot of different elements in gameplay. So these are basically our newest games, and then there's one last one over here. This is really great for gamers because there's a lot of gameplay and elements in it. King of the Dice board game. So this is more of a mature game. I would say 8+ is really good. A sophisticated behavior. And there's a lot of different elements. So if you think about the old, like Yahtzee, you basically roll the die, and you want to keep basically your best hand. So you get to do 3 rolls. And what you're trying to do is achieve what's on these cards. So you can see I almost got all my reds. So I did 1 roll. I'm going to try to go again for that red. And I got it. So now I get to pick 2 and discard 2. And what you're trying to do, I'm going to take this And then, let's see, I get this one. And I'm going to build my little community. So I get these two. And the goal is basically to get as many connected pieces as you can throughout the game to get all of the points. There's a game card here where you can see the more community you have, the more points you get. There's also dragon fire, lots of different elements of play. These also come into play, so when you don't have enough in your components here to make a winning card, by the end you can start to use this up here to create your winning elements.
Okay.
So this is a fun one because there's so many different ways to play, lots of different game action, very competitive. If there's someone that's winning, it doesn't matter. Anyone can take the game at any time. So this is a fun one for the game.
Very cool.
And these are basically our newest games that we'd love for you to try anytime.
All right.